My name is Ginny, also known as 2/3 Lotus, everywhere on the internet. This clip is part of my series, The Poets of Twitch, where I analyze my viewers' writing live on stream. Nothing has been edited out, so you're seeing this exactly as streamed with all of the imperfections and tangents that come with being live. If you want to catch me live or want more information, check out the description. Otherwise, enjoy some excellent writing. The poem we are reading now is by our good friend, yes, Puppy. The wonderful, the suddenly prolific and always sending me poems. Oops. I cannot write right now. It's always like a weird switch going from the paper to the iPad. Particularly messes with my head in cursive. 12. Okay. And the title of this poem is What is a Grave But a Fresh Start? I write beautifully? Thank you. We actually do calligraphy on stream sometimes. It's been a while, and we like our pens here. But, yeah. So does Drowning Devil. Just in the sense of writing well, good words. So, what is a grave but a fresh start? Before I died, I paid a man to dig me out. My grave another womb, my body brand new. I paid him to tear me apart and put me back together anew. I paid him to dress me up, replace the dress with a tux, a new, shiny suit. I paid this man to parade me around town. Though my flesh may fall, my smile grows wide. I am new. Though it may be in death, I am seen for who I am. All it took was a few $100 and a bullet through the eyes. Thank you, kind strangers, for even if you intended on killing me, even if you did it for the money, you made me, me. I almost died laughing. I'm sorry at thank you, kind stranger. Just read it, right? Thank you for the gold, kind stranger. But this is really good. This is really cool. This is awesome. I'm psyched to dig into this one. So I'm going to read it again, maybe 2 more times. What is a grave but a fresh start? Before I died, I paid a man to dig me out. My grave, another womb, my body brand new. I paid him to tear me apart and put me back together anew. I paid him to dress me up, replace the dress with a tux, a new, shiny suit. I paid this man to parade me around town. Though my flesh may fall, my smile grows wide. I am new. I thought it may be in death. No, though it may be in death, I'm seen for who I am. All it took was a few $100 and a bullet through the eyes. Thank you, kind strangers, for even if you intended on killing me, even if you did it for the money, you made me, me. What is a grave? So, do like me a good transgender poem. We talked earlier about interpretation and how sometimes you have to dig in a lot to some things that are different from you. Of course, the flip side of that is that when something is familiar to me, interpretation is quite easy. And you've also talked about death before in your poems as a trans thing, and we talk about it a lot. We talk about dead names. But for those who are less trans than me or Drowning Devil, you're probably gonna get a lot of trans poems from me. Perfect. It's actually really funny. I don't write that many trans poems. I've written there's 2 buried on my X that I just did as daily poems. There's one about coffee. My roommate is trans and I thought of her. Yeah. But I actually don't write that many trans poems, which is interesting. Blue, pink, white, pink, blue. Realized halfway in that I can't do white on white. This is a trans poem. So. That's interesting. Take me apart, put me back together, kill my old self, put me in the new preferred gendered clothing, see me for who I am. Right? These are all gender things. These are all about our wonderful transformation of self that we so love and support on this channel. We love our trans folks. Of course I do. I'm trans. So let's talk about something other than that. It means I have less to interpret. Also, I guess, Drowning Devil, how much critique would you like? And would you like this on YouTube at the end of it all? And is there anything specific that you actually want me to look at in particular? Structure, word choice in certain spots, specific punctuation, which you don't use any of, which is awesome. So maybe you don't want me to look at that, because that seems fairly straightforward. But stuff like that. If there's anything, let me know throughout. Otherwise, I'm just gonna start kind of cooking together what I want to talk about through this poem. Because I'm not sure yet. I like the ending. Yeah, you made me me. One part that I really like, I'll just underline some things with my colors. Yeah. I felt like, so, where was it? Anew, and then you say anew, and then suit rhymes with something. Maybe it doesn't. Put me back together anew. I paid him to dress me up, replace the dress with a tux, a new shiny suit. I mean, suit kind of rhymes with new. But I like the way you kind of play with words here. Dress, anew, anew. I think you have some very strong wordplay, which is cool. And then grave womb. Use new a lot, actually, now that I'm looking. I have it again down here, right? I am new. But it's repetition. You also have the I am new. Yeah. See who I am. Bullet through the eyes. Thank you, kind strangers, for even if you intended on killing me, even if you did it for money, you made me meet. Okay. This section is really fun to me, the wordplay. Especially when, you have... This is another case where the actual tool aligns with your theme, right? Like anew and I am new. Yeah. They do the same thing. Where the tool matches up with your theme in a cool way. Because wordplay, and particularly double meaning, words having two meanings, and of course, the theme of these sort of two genders, the switch, some people talk about being trans as a double life, and all of this stuff, right? It's just an observation that I think using wordplay is using double meanings and that sort of cute dress, which, they're not too far apart, but it just sounds good in the context of the poem. So I think this is just like a cool thing you do in like this section. Just a thought of something I enjoy. Before I died, I paid I paid a man to dig me out. My grave, another wound. So this line, before I died, I paid a man to dig me out. I think it's awesome how much you say here, right? This is such a cool image. The paying a man to dig you out, the couple $100 and a bullet through the eyes, paying to orchestrate, or not orchestrate, but actually have your own death. You also have the part, you pointed it out before me, or same time as me. Later it says about money to change. Oh, wait. Money to change. Also the part with paying, and then later it says about the money. Yeah. So that's another like repetition that works. No, the part with $100. Oh, paid him to tear me apart. Yeah. So it all ties together very well. Like, I think your poem is very symmetrical. All of these things connect. The money, the died, the paid to dig me out. It all ties in great. Which makes critique hard when everything feels like it's fairly operative, right? But I probably need to identify what you're trying to say more so than just like, it's a trans poem, because all of these lines serve very well the idea of trans, but that's sort of a vague thing. There are happy trans poems and sad trans poems and everything in between. So what kind is this? Because that will help us actually decide whether we think some of your choices are helpful for your goal. Right? Before I died, I paid a man to dig me out. In my grave another womb, my body brand new. Paid him to tear me apart, put me back together anew. Dress me up, replace the dress with a tux and a new shiny suit. I paid this man to parade me around town. Though my flesh may fall, my smile grows wide. I am new, though maybe in death I'm seen for who I am. For who I am. All it took was a few $100s and a bullet through the eyes. Thank you, kind strangers. Even if you intended on killing me, you made me me. So, this is probably... These, in my opinion, are like the most important lines. The man digging you out after paying him is very much like the metaphor here. And it is for the idea that in doing this action, in being trans, you die to some people. Your flesh is falling off. It may be in death. They intended on killing me. And the last line, in that sense, feels very, very victorious. Right? You got this thing you want, you paid, it all went well. What is a grave but a fresh start? Dying and coming back a new person. It all feels very positive in a good way. Except it kind of makes me wonder with a line like, paid to parade me around town. Like you say, a grave is a fresh start. A fresh start is something new, leaving behind the old, making me me, dying and returning. It feels like you have this clear division, right? Because you do, between old self and new self. And the most important part for you in this action is that you have been made you, right? It's not about what other people think, because in fact, other people intend on killing you. They do, right? We are happy that we are dead and returned, because it means we have a new start and the old is behind us in a mortal way. Which makes me wonder about the purpose of a line like, I paid this man to parade me around town. It almost seems joyous about the dying fact. Like maybe it shows acceptance and not feeling upset about those who would want me dead. Yeah, for sure. The fact that you have died, you have been made new, you've done this thing, it gives this sense of joy. Yeah. Oh, and not want the me dead. Yeah, I understand that too. If they acknowledge you as your old self and they want you dead for that, well, you've already done it yourself. Okay. Avi, that's an excellent observation. The people who want you dead, there are people who want us dead. Want us dead. This is a actual factual reality of being a trans person. There are people who would rather us be dead than walking around. Yay! Those people also tend to not acknowledge the transness. They tend to see us as, you say me in quotes there, Avi, or because they are not seeing the real me, they are seeing the me that I have already killed. And thus I can feel joy, right? Because I already did this killing, which they claim they want to do to my me, whereas I've done it too. It makes it so much easier to accept. Partially inspired by monologue from Saw the TV Glow. Wait, Drowning Devil. Okay, Arson Asher, my other trans man in chat, recommended me I Saw the TV Glow in the form, and I watched it like a couple weeks ago, and it was so good. That's so crazy. It is stark contrast as well to all the stories about people grieving losing people that are unaccepting. Yeah, because sometimes you'll be like, oh, these people are gone, that sucks. No, now we're in agreement. We kill the same person. It's a great spin, right? You have taken other people's opinions and you've spun them around 180 degrees and you've used them for your own purpose. You've used them for you. I don't recall... Inspired by monologue. I don't recall like which part or which monologue from the movie you would be referencing. But yeah, that's a really cool thing. And that kind of also plays into the double meaning. And that's maybe why I latched on to this initial connection of like double meaning to your theme. So that's an option. If you think playing with words meaning the same thing in different, or meaning different things, although it's the same word in different contexts, you know, me being me versus the me that other people see, all of that double meaning, that is something you could play with that I think would like tie in well. Not that you need to. It's an excellently written poem already, right? But all of that being said, the poem, in that regard, kind of implies not so much caring about others' opinions. The people down here who want us dead, they have this strong opinion. The hate. And your parading around town almost feels like a display for the hateful people, which is a bit weird in this poem because you don't necessarily need the validation of the parade. You found validation yourself. And maybe that's fine. Maybe this is an echo, a slight echo of saying, I've not fully accepted myself and I still need other people to see me. But it does feel slightly contradictory with the message of your fresh start. The monologue where the girl is talking about paying a dude to bury her. Okay, yeah. Or it is pride and wanting to show everyone the new you. Yeah, it very well could be, but being proud and wanting to show it is still something in relation to others, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And you made me me. This for you is a very personal thing, your fresh start. And this is the only line that strictly cares about the external, because everything here really doesn't care about the external. And maybe that's also the point. Here's you displaying yourself to prove to yourself you don't care, because your flesh is falling, the people are jeering, right? They want you dead, you know, or they intend on killing you. And yet you're okay with that, right? And it is a victory because it is putting yourself into the situation of the deepest amount of hatred, showing yourself to others, and you're just able to smile. So perhaps it is victorious. It is just an interesting note on that line, perhaps, right? So there's that. A double meaning that I really like, which I would invite you to use if you want to go in this direction. Change. Change referring to a little bit of money, a small amount of money. You know, all it took was some change, and you got to make this change. I've used it a lot, though, which is maybe why I want to pass that on to someone else to use in a few of their poems. But like I don't. It says what it wants to so well, right? Paid a man to dig me out. Grave a womb, made new. You did this thing, and then, like, you did this victorious thing. Right here. We did it! Yay! And then, you come out, and you're challenged by the world, and the conclusion is that you're okay with it. In that sense, you have a sort of 3-act play. A setup, and then you have conflict, and then you have resolution. Or building tension, climax, release, which is a wonderful structure for a poem. And for being so new at poetry, I think you do a great job of really compressing a lot of this into a short space. All of your poems have been like really, really quite short, right? And what do you do? A voice as well? Yeah. Like, it's very impressive to me that, and maybe it's that you don't have like the enough ideas to write a long poem, and that's okay because you write short poems really well. Maybe I would challenge you then, but I would want the next thing to see from you to be a long poem. But this is great, and we've given a little bit of critique. Fresh start. Do you have any questions? Avi or anyone else in chat, do you have any specific parts you want to highlight or ask Drowning Devil about or dig into or anything? You're good. Drowning Devil, do you want any like advice outside of like the thematic material? Any specific words? Does this work well? What are your thoughts on this part that I didn't talk about? You know, I didn't talk about, like, my grave another womb. I could find things to say. It is a beautiful piece of art, says Avi, and I agree. It is a beautiful piece of art. But of course, art is also ever growing and evolving, and potentially something Drowning Devil would like to improve. It's been kind of short. Like, I feel like I should say more because the analysis is normally like an hour or an hour and a half. But maybe there's something to be said for that the poem is so direct in what it does it so well. Maybe there's a line that we think is a little dubious, or I think is, that could be changed, but I think if like this is our interpretation, then it works well. Structured well. Maybe I'll read it again, see if there's anything that jumps out to me again. This isn't the final read. Before I died, I paid a man to dig me out. My grave another womb. My body brand new. I paid him to tear me apart and put me back together anew. I paid him to dress me up, replace the dress with a tux. A shiny new suit. I paid this man to parade me around town. Though my flesh may fall, my smile grows wide. I am new, though it may be in death I'm seen for who I am. All it took was a few $100s and a bullet through the eyes. Thank you, kind strangers, for even if you intended on killing me, even if you did it for the money, you made me, me. It's so concise in what it says. It's great. Sorry my mom came home. Gonna have to watch this section later. Still here, just can't listen well. No worries. I feel like... I feel like that's all I have to say to you right now. And part of that is you've submitted a lot of things, and I think I've given you a lot of ideas to work on. And you've clearly grown a lot from here to here. But I guess my big advice for you, as someone who's now submitted a bunch of things in a very short time, go back, listen to the earlier advice, really take it all, and try to write something like big, I guess. It sounds daunting, but like, write me a long poem is my challenge to you, Drowning Devil. Not that I don't like the short ones, they work really well. But I think it would be a good challenge. What to me is a long poem? I don't know, longer than this. Longer than any of the other things he's sent to me. Long as in long enough to be a challenge to drowningdevil12. And that could be something that's twice this, which some people would call a normal poem for them. Some people would still call that a short poem for them. Write what is to you a longer, more challenging, if it takes a few days, and really, really dig into it, right? Battle Chi Comics, welcome in. How are you? I'm looking at Drowning Devil's poem. We're just finishing up. And I was, so Drowning Devil, a poem that is longer. Push yourself in some way, I guess. Your poems so far are very similar, I would say. They take a theme, they have like a strong title, they're really well put together, they're really well structured. I have no issue with the poems you're writing now. So, like we were saying earlier with Bukowski, find something in your poems to run from, find something in your poems to change, and that will be a good challenge. Do something different. I'm neutral at the moment. How are you? I'm excellent. We've read some great poetry on stream today, and listened to poetry, and analyzed and talked, and have a good time. So overall, I would say I'm having a great day. Took my dog on a pretty long walk this morning, so it's a good time. If there are no other questions on what is a grave but a fresh start, I will leave Drowning Devil with that sort of little bit of a challenge. I'll read it one more time, and then it looks like we have time to move on to Avi Sis's poem. And that will be the last analysis for the stream when I do that one. And then maybe I'll hang around and we can chat if people want to, if there's still people, and I can paint my nails. Because that, or I can wait till later. Thank you so much for the follow, Battle Chi Comics. It means a lot. Every single one of y'all. People listening to things I have to say. It's great. And listening to other people's work. That's important. So I'm going to read this one last time. What is a grave but a fresh start? Before I died, I paid a man to dig me out. My grave, another womb. My body brand new, I paid him to tear me apart and put me back together anew. I paid him to dress me up, replace the dress with a tux, a new shiny suit. I paid this man to parade me around town. Though my flesh may fall, my smile grows wide. I am new. Though it may be in death, I am seen for who I am. All it took was a few $100 and a bullet through the eyes. Thank you, kind strangers, for even if you intended on killing me, even if you did it for the money, you made me me. What is a grave but a fresh start by drowningdevil12. Snaps for that. It's a really excellent poem, and yeah, I invite you to accept my sort of challenge to you as someone who's submitted a few times. Take some time, write something really difficult for you that takes time. Try to write a poem that takes you like a week. It's hard. That's the one I want to read from you. Because you can make really good poetry, Drowning Devil. Daily, it seems. I do it on X, on Twitter. I post there every day. But the poems that matter to me are the ones that took me hours, across days, across weeks. Right? I want to see something really, I guess, powerful from you. And these are already powerful, but something that has weight. Not to say these don't. That's not what I'm trying to say. Thank you for watching. I encourage you to check out the rest of the series, follow if you enjoyed, and stop by Twitch if you want to share your own work. See you there.